dropping your questions and I will continue to answer them when I'm done. You have 3 types of Amazon ads, like 3 main types: sponsored product ads, sponsored brand ads, and sponsored display ads. 80% of all advertising sales, sponsored product ads. 20% sponsored brand, 10% sponsored display. When I started back in 2019, sponsored product was the only ad type. Sponsored brand and sponsored display did not exist. You cannot unlock the other advertising types unless you're brand registered. Amazon would not withhold a feature that was like a make or break on your success on Amazon. Sponsored brand and sponsored display are like layers to your advertising strategy. But they should only be layers. It's kind of like if you don't have a good base, like think of making a cake. If you just splatter some icing on the bottom and you're like, this is my first layer, it doesn't make sense to build a tier cake on top of that. Your sponsored product ads, like I said, are that first tier. You should be dialed in on your sponsored product ads. I think I have to go get the puppy. But you need to be dialed in. Profitable, bidding on a bunch of keywords, not a bunch, not like just willy-nilly, but bidding on your main keyword. Throw me out. Hold on, let me go get the dog. And I'll finish that thought. Here. Okay. So some people have low sales or aren't profitable, and they look to sponsored video ads as like the solution. Oh, this is going to make my product better or me get more sales. If you're not doing, excuse me. Okay. If you're not profitable, sponsored product, don't do sponsored video. How much do you use the product opportunity explorer in Seller Central? All the time. I think it's a cheat code, low key. Yes, I agree. And it's pointless to even debate that kind of stuff. Sea urchin. All right. Anyways, sorry, I got distracted there. But y'all make sure to keep dropping your questions down below. Brother, you need to shut up. Nice, that's what's up. That is what's up. Jay, are some of my questions getting cut off? But yes, I use it quite often. It's a great tool, no doubt about it. What up, Alex? How much money do you think would be an optimal amount to actually start and launch your first product, like 3 to 6K USD? 99% of the products that I've ever launched have been for 3 to 6K USD. What's a winning product like right now? Nobody's gonna just give you a product to sell, bro. Doesn't work like that. If only it was that easy. Hey, bro, what are the winning lottery numbers for next week? Just wondering. Just curious. Doesn't work like that, bro. I can teach you how to find products. I can give you the criteria that I use to find products. But usually when I answer that question like that, people don't want to put in the work. Just what's a winning product? I need to sell it. Anytime you guys ever watch a video where somebody says, this is a good product to sell on Amazon, it's not a good product to sell on Amazon. Yes, please, what? Like, yes, please, to teach you / show you the criteria. Or yes, please, to the sarcastic questions. Okay, got it. Yeah, I got you. That's what these lives are about. I'm here to teach y'all how to fish, not hand you the fish. Because if I teach you how to fish, you can fish for the rest of your life. If I just hand you a fish, you probably won't get to. No, I was gonna be silly with that analogy. But yeah, it's not gonna do you much good in the long run, and more than likely, drop the ball. Like I said, anytime you see somebody talk about, oh, this is a good product to sell on Amazon, no, it's not. Even the videos that I make, like I make videos, this is what a good product market looks like on Amazon. Always at the end, there's a caveat, but I wouldn't sell it because of XYZ reason. And that's because, again, nobody is going to just hand you a product. Anyways, going to it. The criteria that I use to find successful products. This criteria has about a 70% success rate in not losing me money over the years based on my own launches, as well as student data and surveys. But a product that has the potential to make 10K a month, I'll go slow. I have videos on this too. Average reviews in the market under around 500. You need a product research software to see this data, like Helium 10. Hey, nice. Let's go, Alex. A product with the average price in the market at least $30. 20% of low reviewed sellers making 10K plus a month. I want a product where I can stand out and differentiate from the competition. You need a product where it's not seasonal, solid search volume across the board. Must be able to achieve 30% profit margins after FBA fees, cost of goods, and shipping. Advertising cost per click no more than $1.50. And then there's a few categories: electronics, fragile, clothing, shoes, that I would avoid. I've got a product that's got 25 reviews at an average 4-star. However, my BSR dropped significantly. How could I make it recover? What's the best way you think? Getting sales? Dialing in your ad campaigns? There's always a reason why something happened, you guys. It's your job as an Amazon seller to understand what that thing is. Like, it's not like one day you just wake up and just because the universe decided that it wanted to, that you were like, okay, I usually do $500 in sales, but today, I consistently $500 in sales for weeks and weeks and weeks. But then, today, I only had 150 in sales. It's not like, oh, why that happened? There's a reason. Did your placements change on your ads? Did your organic rank drop? And then there's a reason why that happened. If the placement dropped, maybe your bids dropped. Maybe you lowered your bids. If your organic rank dropped, maybe you're getting less sales towards that keyword. So there's always a reason, but the start of your issue is if your rank dropped, you're not getting sales on specific keywords. And your auto campaign is not going to help your organic rank. If you're talking just BSR is kind of, it's important / bullshit. A lot of people put too much emphasis on BSR. If you're not in the top 100, like it's a cool metric to look at, but if you're not in the top 100 for your in BSR, it doesn't mean anything. Because I've seen scenarios where your BSR drops, like increases, gets worse, but your organic rank gets better. I only care about organic rank. When I break the top 100 for the subcategory BSR, then I'm like, okay, well, how do I break top 50? And then how do I get into top 10 and stuff like that? Brother, I started Amazon and FBA in 2024 and I failed to sell my product and I did everything possible. I started with a pesticide product. Well, you did things wrong, right? It's kind of, I mean, people don't like hearing this, but it's like you may have thought you did everything possible, but not necessarily. It's like if I'm I don't know who just lost in the Super Bowl, the Patriots. Yeah, I don't watch football. The Patriots were like, we did everything that we could have done to win the Super Bowl. I didn't watch the game, but no, you clearly didn't. Like you clearly missed passes, you clearly missed tackles, maybe threw interceptions. Like there's things that you did that clearly did not execute in the way that was necessary in order to win. So pesticide product, that's number one, right? And then there was other things. And then you said, and I was also doing advertisement. So this is where a lot of people fail on Amazon. They just spend money on ads. Their ads aren't converting and they continue to spend money on ads and they think that's the solution. So going back to it, it's like, I did everything that I possibly could. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And that sounds mean to say, but I'm not saying it to be mean. Again, excuse my loud dog. But it's the truth. I would actually rather hear that. If I was a beginner and somebody was like, and in my head, I was like, I did everything right. I should have succeeded. And then somebody came and was like, no, you absolutely didn't. Because if you did everything right, you would have succeeded. That actually would make me feel better. It would suck to hear, but it'd make me feel better because now I know like, oh, wait, that means there's room for improvement. I thought I was doing everything. I thought I was at the ceiling. There's nothing that I can do to improve or to succeed. But in reality, I was down here and the ceiling is way up here. It's like, oh, wait, I can do a lot to succeed. I can launch a better product in a better market. I can not launch a pesticide product. I can work on optimizing my listing. I can have a good ad strategy. I can understand when to make optimizations and when to cut things so I don't overspend on ads. I understand how to differentiate my product, add value into the market. I'll understand how to get reviews properly. Maybe you didn't get reviews. Like there's always something that you can do better. Well, shit, $50 won't hurt. You got Cash App? I do. I got Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, PayPal. But I ain't Bank of America, son. Go get your money up. I know most of the time they're trolls. But sometimes I still think, troll or not troll, asking another grown man for money on the internet is the lowest of lows. I put it in my head. I can't say it because it's inappropriate, but I put it in a box with a whole lot of other stuff. A fake version of you followed me, bro. Had 11K followers. Yep, I'll never. If you ever get a follow from Luke Basha, it's not me. I will never follow. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate y'all supporting the content in the lives, liking the videos. I will never follow any of you. You could have been my first follower ever. I will never follow you. I will never DM you. The only time you'll get a DM from me is if you DM me and I just happen to see the request and I respond to your DMs. I have thousands of requests. I'll respond to a handful of them, but only can respond to so many. So yeah, be careful of fake accounts. I will not DM you. I will not ask you for money. I will not follow you. That is how to know. In fact, on my account, it says, I will never message you first. So be careful, be careful, be careful. It's a crazy story. Well, we won't get into it. I'll tell you what happened. I won't get into the full story. Somebody lost $60,000 to one of those fake accounts. Sad, very sad. Is there anyone to blame but yourself when that happens? Unfortunately, not. I need to get my laptop charger. So keep dropping your questions. Excuse me, doggy. And I'll be back. 30 seconds. Hey, quiet. No. Quiet. No. No. Good boy. Good boy. All right. If this ain't the driest live that I've ever been in, all right, if we don't get the live popping in 5 minutes, it's going to be a 20-minute live today. So I'll shout out the videos. And if we don't get some questions, we don't get it popping, it'll be a 20-minute live. But I posted some videos about Chinese manufacturers on Amazon. Too many busters out there thinking that Chinese manufacturers matter. Second video, talking about Amazon ads. And third video, when you should sell your Amazon business. I was talking about it previously. It's like the season for my students selling their Amazon businesses. Had one student sell their business last week, 2 other students who are in negotiations for selling their business, and then 1 student who got an offer on selling their business, which I think is pretty sick. All right. But